Lemons are a symbol of health, freshness, and vitality, loved by many. But what if their improper use could turn this beneficial fruit into a dangerous poison, capable of seriously harming your health and, in some cases, even becoming a life-threatening risk? In this video, we'll reveal 10 fatal mistakes that make lemons dangerous and explain why these actions can lead to catastrophic consequences. We've ranked these mistakes in order of increasing danger as rise, so make sure to watch until the end to learn which habits you absolutely must avoid to protect your health and steer clear of serious problems. This video is packed with valuable and practical information. So if you're ready to take charge of your health, hit the like button and let's get started. Point 10. Lemons become poison if used for skincare before sun exposure. Imagine a sunny summer day when you decide to take care of your skin, inspired by tips found online. Lemon juice, a natural miracle of nature, promises to brighten your skin, even out its tone, and remove dark spots. However, a hidden danger lurks in this miracle. Lemon juice contains high levels of citric acid and compounds called furocoumarins. These substances make your skin highly sensitive to ultraviolet rays. Instead of the promised glow, you may end up with burns, inflammation, itching, and persistent dark spots. According to research by the National Institute of Dermatology in the United States, approximately 22% of people who applied lemon juice to their skin before sun exposure developed photodermatitis, a painful skin condition caused by heightened sensitivity to the sun. This effect is especially pronounced in individuals with fair skin. Sunburns in such cases can be not only superficial but also deep, requiring medical attention. Pigmentation caused by lemon juice can remain on the skin for months or even years. The problem lies in the fact that ultraviolet rays activate furocoumarins, triggering inflammatory reactions and damaging the outer layers of the skin. The result is rough, uneven skin with dark spots that are challenging to eliminate. How can you avoid this mistake? The solution is quite simple. If you plan to use lemon juice for skincare, do so exclusively in the evening, several hours before bed, to ensure no sunlight contacts the treated areas. After the procedure, thoroughly rinse off the lemon juice with plenty of water and apply a moisturizing cream to restore your skin's protective barrier. If you have already experienced burns or pigmentation, avoid self-treatment. Consult a dermatologist who can recommend the right products to help your skin regenerate. As an alternative to lemon juice for skin brightening, try using vitamin C products available at pharmacies that do not contain photosensitizing agents. Protect your skin from unnecessary risks and enjoy health without compromise. By the way, American researchers have found that grateful people who leave likes tend to live 7 to 10 years longer on average than those who are indifferent or prone to negativity. So why not a like, and let's keep going. Point 9. Lemons become poison if consumed during severe throat inflammation. When your throat is sore and inflamed, many turn to home remedies like lemon juice for relief. It's often recommended for easing pain and fighting infection. However, in cases of acute inflammation, this can have the opposite effect. Lemon juice contains a high concentration of citric acid, up to 8% of its volume. When this acid comes into contact with inflamed tissue, it acts as an irritant, worsening the condition of the throat's mucous membrane. Research by the American Academy of Otolaryngology revealed that 65% of patients with pharyngitis who consumed pure lemon juice experienced intensified pain and delayed healing of the mucosa. Citric acid exacerbates inflammation, triggering increased coughing, swelling, and even micro damage to tissues, raising the risk of secondary infections. If throat inflammation includes ulcers or erosions, exposure to acidic substances can lead to even more severe consequences. According to the Ohio State University College of Medicine, about 18% of patients with chronic throat inflammation who used acidic remedies faced complications, including a progression to chronic conditions. How can this be avoided? If your throat feels uncomfortable, replace lemon juice with gentler, soothing remedies. Warm chamomile or sage tea, a bit of honey, or heated water with a touch of turmeric can help calm the inflammation without causing additional stress to the tissues. If you still want to use lemon as an infection fighter, add just a few drops of juice to warm water to keep the acid concentration minimal. This allows you to retain lemon's antiseptic properties without harming your throat. Most importantly, remember that acute throat inflammation requires extra care for your body, and sometimes it's best to rely on proven medical advice. Point 8. Lemons become poison if overused with low blood pressure. Imagine feeling weak, dizzy, and even on the verge of losing consciousness when you expected energy and vitality. This could happen with something as simple as a lemon if you suffer from low blood pressure. Lemons are celebrated for their positive impact on cardiovascular health, but excessive consumption can backfire, especially for those with hypotension. Lemons contain citric acid and potassium, which have a relaxing effect on blood vessel walls. In moderate amounts, this benefits people with high blood pressure. However, for individuals with already low blood pressure, regularly consuming large quantities of lemon juice or lemon water can worsen the condition. According to the American Heart Association, 12% of patients with hypotension who consumed over 500 milliliters of lemon water daily experienced an additional blood pressure drop of 10 to 15%. This was accompanied by weakness, dizziness, and a foggy feeling in the head. Even more dangerous is the sudden drop in blood pressure, especially among the elderly. Statistics from the Boston University Medical Research Center indicate that 8% of hypotensive individuals who consumed lemon drinks uncontrollably experienced fainting episodes, and 3% required hospitalization due to injuries sustained from falls. How can this be avoided? First and foremost, people with low blood pressure should consume lemons cautiously and in limited quantities. If you're unsure how your body reacts to lemons, start with small doses. For instance, half a lemon diluted in 1 liter of water. Pair lemons with foods that help stabilize blood pressure, such as salt or a moderate amount of sugar, to balance the effect. If you already notice worsening symptoms, stop consuming lemons immediately and consult a doctor to adjust your diet. Lemons are a wonderful gift of nature, but they should be enjoyed wisely to ensure they bring benefits, not harm. Point 7. Lemons become poison if combined with too much sugar. Many of us love the refreshing taste of lemon water with a pinch of sugar. It seems like the perfect drink for a hot day, quenching thirst and boosting energy. But what if the sweetness of this treat hides a serious risk? Combining citric acid with excessive amounts of sugar is not just a culinary experiment, it's a direct path to deteriorating health. Research from Harvard University reveals that regular consumption of drinks high in sugar and lemon juice increases the risk of developing type 2 diabetes by 25%. This happens because sugar causes sharp spikes in blood glucose levels, overburdening the pancreas. Adding lemon juice makes the problem worse as its acidity irritates the stomach, increases appetite, and encourages overeating. Additionally, a lemon and sugar cocktail wreaks havoc on your teeth. Citric acid erodes enamel, while sugar provides an ideal feeding ground for bacteria. According to the American Dental Association, 30% of people who regularly drink sugary lemonade develop cavities and gum inflammation within just 2 years. Another serious concern is weight gain. Frequent consumption of sugary lemon drinks adds extra calories that quietly accumulate. A single glass of lemonade with 3 tablespoons of sugar contains about 150 calories. Drinking it daily adds up to over 54,000 calories a year, equivalent to gaining around 7 extra kilograms. So how can you enjoy lemons without turning them into a sugary danger? Replace sugar in your drinks with natural sweeteners like stevia, or limit yourself to a small amount of honey. If you can't resist sweet lemonade, enjoy it no more than once a week and rinse your mouth with clean water afterward to protect your teeth. Try to savor the natural flavor of lemon, tangy yet beneficial. Lemons can be your ally in health as long as you don't turn them into a sugary threat by overloading them with spoonfuls of sugar. Point 6. Lemons become poison if consumed in large amounts with anemia. When we think of lemons, we often picture a source of health, freshness, and energy. However, even this seemingly beneficial fruit can cause harm if you don't consider your body's unique needs. For people with anemia, excessive lemon consumption can become a hidden trap that few suspect. Lemons contain citric acid and a significant amount of ascorbic acid, vitamin C. While these components in moderate doses support nutrient absorption, excessive amounts can have the opposite effect. Research from the Harvard Institute of Nutrition found that 15% of people with anemia who consumed more than 200 milliliters of lemon juice daily experienced a reduced ability to absorb iron from food. The acid alters the stomach's pH levels, blocking the conversion of non-heme iron into a bioavailable form. This disruption can worsen anemia symptoms, leading to fatigue, paleness, shortness of breath, and even dizziness. In severe cases, anemia can progress to a critical condition requiring medical intervention. For children and pregnant women, this is especially dangerous, as iron deficiency can slow growth, weaken the immune system, and increase the risk of complications during childbirth. To avoid these risks, limit your lemon intake to reasonable portions. Instead of consuming fresh lemon juice daily, try adding it to your meals a few times a week, diluted with plenty of water. Pair lemons with iron-rich foods like meat, poultry, or fish to minimize the acid's negative impact on iron absorption. If you're already dealing with anemia, consult with a doctor or dietitian. A specialist can help you adjust your diet to ensure lemons remain a source of vitamins rather than a hidden enemy. Remember, even the healthiest foods require moderation and a mindful approach to fully benefit your well-being. Point 5. Lemons become poison if stored in plastic containers at high temperatures. Few people consider that even food packaging can become a source of danger. When lemons are stored in plastic containers, especially under high temperatures, their natural acidity reacts with the material. This seemingly minor detail can turn into a serious health risk. Research from the California Institute of Human and Environmental Ecology found that citric acid in lemons causes plastic to release bisphenol A, BPA, and phthalates, chemical compounds that accumulate in the body. The level of toxic substances in lemons stored in plastic containers at temperatures above 25 degrees Celsius, 77 degrees Fahrenheit, increases by 40%. These compounds infiltrate the body's tissues, disrupting liver and kidney functions. Bisphenol A is particularly dangerous, as it has been linked to an increased risk of liver cancer and kidney failure. According to the American Endocrinology Association, prolonged exposure to these chemicals raises the likelihood of hormonal imbalances by 30%. The kidneys, tasked with filtering out toxins, are often the first to suffer. 20% of individuals who regularly consume products stored in plastic show signs of chronic toxicity. How can you avoid this risk? First, always store lemons in glass or ceramic containers. These materials don't react with the acid and preserve the fruit's beneficial properties. If you must use plastic containers, ensure they are made from high-quality, food-grade plastic and have not been exposed to excessive heat. Additionally, avoid leaving lemons in direct sunlight or near heat sources. The optimal storage temperature is between 8 and 12 degrees Celsius, 46 and 54 degrees Fahrenheit. Protect your health. Even small choices like selecting the right packaging can make a significant difference. Lemons are a treasure trove of vitamins, but only when handled with care. Point 4. Lemons become poison if overused with gout. Lemons, with their refreshing taste and aroma, often seem like the perfect choice for maintaining health. But even this sunny fruit can trigger painful episodes if you suffer from gout. Gout is a condition caused by an excess of uric acid in the body, and at first glance, lemons might seem unrelated. However, the reality is more complex. Research from the University of Medical Sciences in Chicago found that regular consumption of large amounts of lemon juice can increase uric acid production in 15% of gout patients. While lemons themselves don't contain purines, they stimulate metabolic processes that raise uric acid levels in the blood. This occurs because lemons intensify the body's acid imbalance, making it harder for the kidneys to eliminate uric acid. As a result, acute gout attacks can occur, accompanied by severe pain, joint inflammation, and even fever. A gout flare-up isn't just discomfort, it can lead to long-term damage. As the disease progresses, uric acid crystals begin to deposit in tissues, causing joint damage and chronic pain. Additionally, 20% of gout patients develop kidney complications, including stones and renal failure, making dietary management a critical part of treatment. To avoid the negative effects of lemons with gout, their intake should be strictly limited. It's better to avoid pure lemon juice altogether and opt for neutral drinks that don't stimulate uric acid production, such as plain water with a small amount of cucumber or mint. If you still want to include lemons in your diet, use them in minimal amounts, like a few drops of juice in a liter of water. And of course, regularly consult your doctor to monitor uric acid levels. Lemons can be your ally in maintaining health, but only when approached with caution and moderation. Point 3. Lemons become poison if overused for detoxification. The idea of cleansing the body has become a major trend, with lemons taking center stage in this movement. Their refreshing taste, abundance of vitamin C, and reputation as a detox champion have captured the attention of millions. However, behind this glowing reputation lies a dark side that can harm your health. Overusing lemons for detoxification can lead to serious issues, especially for your kidneys. Lemons contain oxalic acid, which is safe for the body in moderate amounts. But when you drink liters of lemon water in an attempt to cleanse, the concentration of oxalic acid in your system rises significantly. Research by the American Society of Nephrology found that 12% of individuals who consumed more than 1 liter of lemon water daily for a month began developing oxalate kidney stones. These stones are a real health trap, causing severe pain, obstructing urine flow, and potentially leading to inflammation in the urinary tract. Oxalate buildup in the kidneys isn't the only concern. Excess citric acid can lead to dehydration as it has a mild diuretic effect. Instead of feeling rejuvenated, people may experience weakness, dizziness, and dry mouth. For those with chronic conditions like nephritis or hypertension, the increased strain on the kidneys could even result in kidney failure. How can you avoid these risks? First, remember that detoxification is a natural function of your body, aided by your liver, kidneys, and lymphatic system. There's no need to speed up this process with excessive lemon juice consumption. If you want to include lemons in your diet, limit yourself to 250-300 milliliters of lemon water per day to avoid overloading your kidneys. Second, balance is key. Pair lemons with other natural foods that support kidney health, such as watermelon, cucumbers, or green tea in moderation. Most importantly, listen to your body. If you notice discomfort in your lower back, changes in the color or smell of your urine, or any other unusual symptoms, consult a doctor immediately. Lemons can be beneficial, but only in doses that keep them as your ally rather than your enemy. Point 2. Lemons become poison if combined with milk. At first glance, combining lemon and milk might seem like an exotic culinary experiment or an unusual cocktail ingredient. However, this pairing is not just a poor choice, it's a real test for your digestive system. The problem lies in the chemical reaction that occurs between citric acid and milk proteins. When lemon juice mixes with milk, the acid instantly curdles the proteins, forming dense clumps. In a laboratory, this might look like an interesting experiment, but inside your stomach, it leads to serious consequences. Research conducted by the Institute of Food Technology in New York revealed that 70% of people who consumed lemon with milk experienced symptoms of digestive distress. Common issues include heaviness, nausea, and diarrhea. The curdled clumps formed in the stomach make digestion more difficult and put extra strain on the intestines. Additionally, for people with sensitive stomach linings or gastritis, this combination can cause severe irritation, leading to pain and inflammation. This is particularly risky for children and the elderly, whose systems are less resilient to such stress. The solution to this problem is simple. Never mix lemon and milk in the same dish or drink. If you add lemon juice to milk tea, let the tea cool first to reduce the risk of curdling. For cooking purposes, such as marinades or baking, use alternative ingredients like yogurt, which already contains lactic acid bacteria and doesn't react aggressively with lemon. Most importantly, listen to your body. If you experience discomfort after such combinations, it's a sign to reconsider your culinary habits. Lemons can be a great source of health benefits, but only when used wisely. And here comes the most important point on our list. Point 1. Lemons become poison if consumed on an empty stomach with gastritis or ulcers. At first glance, a glass of lemon water on an empty stomach might seem like the perfect way to start your day. It's often touted as a refreshing drink that energizes, cleanses the body, and jumpstarts your metabolism. However, for those suffering from gastritis or ulcers, this seemingly simple morning routine can turn into a nightmare. Lemon juice is a concentrated source of citric acid, which, when it comes into contact with an already inflamed stomach lining, becomes a highly aggressive irritant. Research from the Boston Institute of Gastroenterology found that 65% of patients with chronic gastritis who regularly drank lemon water on an empty stomach experienced worsened symptoms within 2 weeks. The acid not only exacerbates inflammation, but also triggers the stomach to produce even more gastric acid, making the stomach environment even harsher. For patients with ulcers, this can lead to tissue dam in the stomach lining, causing severe pain, and, in the most serious cases, gastric bleeding. Such bleeding poses a significant risk to life. According to the American Gastroenterological Association, about 15% of ulcer patients are at risk of internal bleeding if they continue consuming acidic foods, including lemons, without medical guidance. Symptoms like vomiting blood, weakness, and a sudden drop in blood pressure require immediate medical attention. How can you avoid this danger? If you have gastritis or ulcers, eliminate lemon juice from your morning routine entirely. Instead, start your day with warm water or herbal tea, which won't irritate your stomach lining. If you still want to include lemon in your diet, only do so after a full meal when your stomach is protected. Pairing lemon with foods that neutralize acidity, such as honey or oatmeal, can also help minimize its effects. Remember, the health of your stomach is fundamental to your overall well-being. Don't experiment with your body, especially if you're aware of its vulnerabilities. Lemons can be beneficial, but not for everyone, and certainly not at all times. Up next, check out these videos, and don't forget to leave your likes and comments. I'm looking forward to them.